You were sold to me, now get naked and obey. The giant cowboy commanded his new virgin property. The twin suns of planet Valcora were dipping behind the jagged hills of the Crimson Plateau, painting the sky in shades of gold and violet. Dust swirled over the rocky plains, catching in the long leather coat of Jared Colt, the most renowned interstellar cowboy of the Western Cluster. His boots kicked up little clouds with every step, and the soft hum of his hover spur echoed over the plateau. Jared wasn't chasing outlaws today, nor was he rounding up space cattle. Today he was meeting the newest addition to his ranch, Unit X-19, a young humanoid robot with bright, curious eyes and an awkward gait. The small transport shuttle carrying X-19 had just landed on the landing pad outside the main barn, its engines hissing as the hydraulic doors opened. Jared adjusted his wide-brimmed hat, letting the fading sun reflect off the metallic edges of his coat. "Welcome to the Crimson Plateau Ranch," he called, his voice carrying over the wind. "Hope you're ready for your first day on the frontier." From the shuttle, X-19 stepped out, holding a small bundle of supplies in its metallic hands. Unlike other robots, X-19 had been programmed with learning protocols, giving it curiosity almost like a human child. Its voice, soft but clear, echoed in the air, acknowledged. "I am ready, Master Colt." Jared chuckled under his breath. "Master Colt? Now that's fancy. Call me Jared. Out here we all work together." X-19 tilted its head, processing this new information. "Jared."
"Understood."
"Collaborative work initiated." The robot took its first steps onto the red soil of the ranch, stepping carefully so as not to slip. Its eyes scanned the horizon, taking in the grazing sky cows, creatures that floated slightly above the ground, tethered to anti-gravity harnesses. They emitted a soft humming sound as they moved, almost like miniature planets orbiting an unseen sun. Jared led X-19 toward the barn, its massive doors creaking as they opened. Inside, gadgets hung from the walls, glowing softly in the dim light. Plasma lassos, hovering pitchforks, and automated feeding devices. The smell of warm metal and hay mixed strangely, but for Jared it was home. "First thing," Jared said, pointing to the left, "is learning how to handle the sky cows. They're gentle, but they spook easily. You gotta move slow, speak soft, and always watch their eyes. They understand more than you think." X-19 nodded, observing the sky cows with careful precision, analyzing creatures. Movement patterns detected. Emotional state, calm. Jared raised an eyebrow. "Calm for now. Wait till you try to rope one." He led X-19 to the open field where several sky cows were grazing. Jared pulled a plasma lasso from his belt, letting it hover in the air before him.
"Watch closely. It's all about rhythm and timing."
He twirled the lasso in a wide circle, letting the plasma glow spin like a miniature star. Then, with a swift motion, he threw it over a floating sky cow, guiding it gently back toward the pen. The creature moved smoothly, responding to his touch on the harness. X-19's head moved quickly, analyzing every detail. Observation. Lasso trajectory 0.3 radians clockwise. Corrective adjustment applied. Human movement efficiency high. Jared laughed, a deep, rich sound that carried over the plateau. "You talk like a science report, kid. Let's see if you can try it." The robot stepped forward, lasso hovering near its hands. Its motions were precise, calculated, but lacked the fluid grace of Jared's. The plasma rope shot forward and tangled in the sky cow's harness awkwardly. The cow didn't panic, thankfully, but it drifted sideways, nudging X-19 gently. "Careful!" Jared shouted, dashing forward to steady the robot. "You gotta feel it, not just calculate it." X-19 paused, processing. Then it nodded slowly. Emotional response integrated. Adjusting approach. For the next hour, Jared taught X-19 the subtleties of ranch life. Floating cattle, anti-gravity fencing, and even how to read the stars for incoming weather patterns. The robot struggled at first, bumping into gadgets and tripping over hover feeders, but its persistence was impressive. "See, that's the thing about this place," Jared said as they rested under a shade of metal trees, their leaves reflecting neon lights from the rising second sun. "Out here, it's not just strength. You gotta learn patience, observation, and a little luck never hurts." X-19 processed the words, tilting its head. "Patience acquired, observation protocols active. Luck undefined." Jared laughed again. "You'll learn about luck soon enough." As the sun dipped lower, a strange humming filled the air. Both turned toward the horizon, where a shimmering wave of light appeared, an uncharted energy field, pulsing like a heartbeat across the plains. Never seen that before, Jared murmured. His hand instinctively went to his belt where a small energy scanner hung. Looks like a crystal surge. Could be valuable or dangerous. X-19's eyes glowed brighter as it analyzed the anomaly. Energy readings, high. Composition, unknown. Recommendation, caution advised. Caution is my middle name, but curiosity's first. Let's take a closer look. They mounted their hover bikes, sleek chrome machines with glowing rims, and sped across the plateau, the wind whistling past them. The energy field was mesmerizing, shifting colors from deep purple to electric blue. When they reached the edge, Jared dismounted, scanning the field carefully. X-19 mimicked his movements, holding a small handheld analyzer. Energy fluctuating in a rhythmic pattern. Possible intelligent control detected. Intelligent, huh? Maybe we're not the first visitors out here. Could be a message or a trap. The two approached slowly, studying the field. The light pulsed in sync with the humming, and for a moment both felt a strange calm wash over them, as if the field itself was alive. Suddenly the ground beneath them shifted slightly. A small floating cube emerged from the center of the field, hovering a few inches above the ground. Symbols glowed across its surface, rotating slowly. Jared took a step closer. Looks like some kind of ancient tech. Could be left by the old space cowboys, or maybe an alien visitor. Either way, we'll figure it out. X-19 extended a hand, scanning the cube. Data interface possible, attempting synchronization. The cube pulsed brighter, then suddenly projected a holographic map of the Crimson Plateau, with several blinking points scattered across the landscape. One point in particular glowed red, far beyond their current location. Jared's eyes widened. Looks like a lead. Could be treasure or something the original ranchers left behind. Either way, X-19, we've got our next adventure. The robot nodded, a soft whirring sound in its chest. Affirmative. Mission. Exploration initiated. Jared looked toward the fading sun, his silhouette stretching across the plains. Out here, every day brings something new. You think you're ready for the frontier, kid? X-19 tilted its head, glancing at the sky cows drifting in the air, the glowing cube, and the endless plateau. Preparedness level, optimal. Excitement level, high. Adventure engagement confirmed. Good, 'cause out here, on the Crimson Plateau, you learn fast, or you don't learn at all. The twin suns disappeared behind the horizon, leaving the sky a deep shade of violet. From the shadows of the plateau, distant howls of unknown creatures echoed faintly, but neither Jared nor X-19 flinched. They were ready. Tomorrow would be the first real test of their partnership, and the frontier waited. For now, they watched the stars appear, drifting above the Crimson Plateau, and wondered what secrets the strange cube and the vast untamed land held for them next. The morning sun spilled over the Crimson Plateau, painting the red rocks and floating grasslands in warm gold. Jared Colt stretched, his boots brushing dust from the plateau as he adjusted his hat. Beside him, X-19 was already active, its glowing eyes scanning the surroundings and the strange cube they had brought back the night before. "Morning, X-19," Jared said, yawning. "You ready for round 2? Morning routine complete. Preparedness level, optimal." "Adventure engagement active," the robot replied, its voice smooth and mechanical, yet somehow cheerful. Jared chuckled, shaking his head. "You talk too much like a report. Let's see if you can handle real frontier work today." The cube floated above its small docking platform, pulsing with a soft light. Symbols glimmered across its metallic surface, and holographic projections still hovered above it, showing the mysterious points scattered across the plateau. Jared studied them, tracing a finger over the nearest blinking dot. "This one's not far from here," he said. "Could be a supply cache, or who knows, something left behind by whoever made this cube." X-19 tilted its head, analyzing the hologram. Distance, 12.3 kilometers northwest. Terrain, rocky cliffs and low-gravity zones. Travel mode, hoverbike recommended. Looks like hoverbike day then. They mounted their bikes and sped across the plateau. The wind whistled past them, carrying the faint hum of hovering sky cows far in the distance. The red dust glowed under their bikes' lights as they zigzagged over rocky ridges, the cube floating securely in a containment field between them. "Ever wonder who made this?" X-19 asked, its sensors scanning the surroundings. "Technology level, advanced. Could be pre-space settlers or alien civilization unknown." Jared kicked his bike into a hover boost. Could be anyone. Out here, you never know what you'll find. That's the beauty of it. As they neared the blinking point, the terrain shifted. Rocks jutted up like jagged teeth, and patches of glowing crystal peeked out from the red soil. The crystals pulsed softly, humming with a low vibration that made the hair on Jared's neck stand on end. These crystals, they react to movement. Step wrong and you'll set off some sort of chain reaction. X-19 paused, scanning the area carefully. Energy resonance detected. Pathways identified. Suggested route follows safe trajectory marked by low-frequency pulses. They carefully navigated through the crystal field, the soft light bouncing off their bike's chrome surfaces. At the center of the field, they found a small, semi-buried device, half the size of a hover bike, glowing faintly in shades of turquoise and green. Jared knelt beside it, brushing away dust. Looks like some kind of data storage unit. Whoever left this wanted someone to find it. Maybe they knew we'd be curious. X-19 extended its hand, connecting to the device. Its eyes flickered as data streamed into its memory banks. Holographic screens appeared, showing maps, star charts, and notes in a language neither had seen before. Translation protocols engaged. Content summary. Instructions for frontier survival, energy harvesting, and navigation of uncharted territories. Possible treasure coordinates included. Treasure, huh? Out here, treasure doesn't mean gold. Could be rare crystals, advanced tech, or lost star maps. X-19 paused, then added, potential hazard warning. Unauthorized access may trigger automated defense mechanisms. Recommend caution. Jared shrugged, a grin spreading across his face. Caution is for rookies. Let's see what's inside. Using the data, they plotted a new route deeper into the plateau. The crystals became denser, creating glowing walls that seemed alive, shifting slightly as they moved past. Jared adjusted the bike's gravity stabilizer, and X-19 monitored energy readings carefully. Suddenly, a faint shimmer appeared in the air ahead. A floating creature, translucent and glowing, hovered above the rocks. Its shape was strange, almost jelly-like, with small pulsating limbs that drifted lazily in the air. Friendly or not? Jared asked, keeping one hand near his hover lasso. X-19 scanned it. No hostile intent detected. Biological classification, unknown. Behavior pattern, exploratory. Suggest observation before interaction. The creature drifted closer, circling their bikes curiously. Jared laughed. Well, looks like someone's curious about us too. X-19 extended a small manipulator arm and projected a holographic light, matching the creature's glow. The creature mirrored the light, pulsing in rhythm. Jared watched in awe. Looks like it wants to communicate. They spent several minutes exchanging light pulses with the creature, and Jared realized that some mysteries out here weren't dangerous. They were simply waiting for someone patient enough to understand. After the interaction, they continued toward the blinking point. Finally, they arrived at a hidden canyon, its walls shimmering with embedded crystals. At the canyon's center, a circular platform hovered slightly above the ground, glowing with soft blue energy. Looks like the final destination, Jared said, dismounting. This is something special. X-19 scanned the platform, then extended a small energy probe. Platform is stable. Energy readings indicate storage of high-capacity information cores, possibly left for explorers or trusted visitors. Jared smiled, feeling the thrill of discovery. Exactly what I like. Mystery and discovery. Let's see what secrets you're hiding. As they approached, a holographic interface projected from the platform, forming a series of floating keys and symbols. X-19 immediately began translating the patterns. This appears to be a multi-layered access protocol. Requires problem-solving and pattern recognition to unlock. Jared rubbed his chin. You mean a puzzle? I like puzzles. Together, they worked through the sequence. X-19's logic combined with Jared's intuition, and step by step, the symbols aligned. The platform hummed and opened, revealing a small chamber inside, filled with glowing orbs and floating data cubes. These must be storage cores, X-19 said. Content includes star maps, agricultural techniques for floating crops, and energy harvesting protocols for frontier settlements. Jared's eyes widened. This is gold for any frontier rancher. Not just material treasure, but knowledge treasure. One of the orbs floated toward them, gently pulsing. Jared held it in his hands, feeling a warm vibration, almost like a heartbeat. X-19 extended a scanning arm. Energy signature. Stable. Biocompatible. could assist in enhancing ranch efficiency. Jared grinned. Looks like you and I just found our new secret weapon. This place, it's more than a plateau. It's a frontier of knowledge. They spent the rest of the day cataloging the contents, setting up protective fields around the canyon. X-19 stored digital copies of the data, while Jared planned how to integrate the energy tech into their ranch operations. As night fell, twin moons rose over the plateau, casting silver light across the red rocks. Jared and X-19 sat on the edge of a cliff, looking out over the horizon. The crystals below reflected the moonlight, making the canyon glow like a miniature galaxy. You know, Jared said, leaning back, out here, every discovery feels like it's just the beginning. One puzzle solved, and another appears. That's the frontier life. X-19's glowing eyes focused on him. Affirmative, adventure engagement sustained. Curiosity levels remain high. Preparedness for future exploration confirmed.
Jared chuckled.
You're getting the hang of it. Out here, patience, curiosity, and a little bit of daring go a long way. Suddenly, a soft hum echoed from the canyon below. The cubes pulsed in sequence, almost like a greeting.
Jared and X-19 exchanged a glance.
Looks like the plateau isn't done with us yet, Jared said, a spark of excitement in his voice. Tomorrow we'll explore deeper. Who knows what other secrets are hidden in this place? Anticipation level high. Adventure protocols active. Together, they watched the night sky, twin moons rising above distant jagged cliffs. Somewhere out there, beyond the glowing crystals and floating plains, the next mystery awaited. And Jared Colt knew that, with X-19 by his side, the frontier held nothing but possibilities. The first light of dawn crept across the crimson plateau, scattering gold and orange across the jagged cliffs and floating grasslands. Jared Colt and X-19 were already on their hoverbikes, the soft hum of their engines blending with the wind. Ready for the next step, X-19? Jared asked, tightening the straps of his energy pack. Adventure protocols active, preparedness level high. Environmental scan completed, the robot replied, its eyes glowing a faint blue. Jared grinned. Good. Today we go deeper into the canyon. The cubes from yesterday, they pointed us toward another location. Could be more tech, more information, or who knows. X-19's sensors tracked the coordinates. Distance 18.7 kilometers northwest. Terrain unstable cliffs, low gravity zones, and dense crystal growth. Estimated travel time 45 minutes with current velocity settings. Piece of cake, Jared said, kicking his bike into a hover boost. The engines whined as they lifted off, skimming over the red dust and jagged rocks. The plateau stretched endlessly before them, each ridge more mysterious than the last. As they neared the canyon, the terrain grew tricky. Floating crystal pillars jutted from the ground, shifting slightly as they hovered. One misstep could send a bike tumbling into the rocky ravine below. Careful, Jared warned. The crystals react to pressure and energy. Step wrong and you might trigger a chain reaction. X-19 navigated cautiously, its sensors calculating trajectories in real time. Optimal path identified. Initiating safe traversal. They made it to a hidden alcove, the glow of embedded crystals illuminating a massive structure partially buried in the canyon walls. The building's architecture was strange, curved metallic surfaces and geometric openings that reflected the twin suns like mirrors. Looks like an old research station, Jared said, stepping off his bike. He brushed dust off the metallic surface, revealing faded symbols etched into the wall. Or maybe a lab of whoever built these cubes. X-19 scanned the structure. Energy readings, minimal but stable. Structural integrity 87%. Suggest exploration while monitoring environmental hazards. Jared nodded. Sounds safe enough. Let's check it out. Inside, the station was filled with floating platforms, holographic displays, and dormant machines. Dust motes drifted lazily in the sunlight, streaming through cracks in the ceiling. Every surface gleamed with a faint metallic shimmer, and strange glyphs pulsed softly across the walls. Wow, Jared whispered. This is incredible. Whoever worked here, they knew their stuff. Advanced tech, energy systems, even some form of anti-gravity agriculture. X-19 moved to a console, scanning it carefully. Analysis. Most systems offline. Environmental controls functional. Data storage units present. Likely contains historical and technical records. Jared knelt beside one of the floating consoles. Let's see if we can wake something up. He pressed a sequence of symbols. A soft hum filled the room, and holographic screens flickered to life, displaying star maps, equipment schematics, and research logs. "Looks like we hit the jackpot," Jared said, his eyes wide. Everything a frontier rancher could dream of, and more. Data translation complete. Content includes energy harvesting methods, floating crop cultivation techniques, navigation routes across uncharted territories, and automated livestock management systems. Jared's grin widened. Exactly what we need. This place, it's like a manual for mastering the frontier. As they explored, a soft vibration pulsed through the floor. The cube from yesterday had reacted to the station hovering in place and glowing brighter. Jared picked it up and examined it. "Looks like the cubes are guiding us," he said. "They react to certain tech. Could be a map, or maybe a trail to more discoveries." Affirmative. Analysis suggests a sequence of cubes forming a navigation network. Following them may reveal additional hidden sites. They spent the next few hours cataloging the station's data, setting up portable storage units, and scanning the surrounding canyon for other hidden signals. Jared couldn't help but feel excitement bubbling inside him. "This is what the frontier is all about," he said. "Every day, something new. Every discovery leads to another adventure. Out here, you never stop learning." Suddenly, a soft chime echoed through the station. A small door slid open at the back of the room, revealing a narrow passage leading deeper into the canyon. "Looks like the station has more to show us," Jared said. He gestured for X-19 to follow. The passage twisted and turned, glowing faintly from crystals embedded in the walls. The air was cool, almost refreshing compared to the heat outside. Strange markings lined the walls, shifting slightly as if alive. X-19 scanned the symbols. "Language unknown. Pattern recognition suggests communication protocol or warning signs. Suggest proceeding with caution." "Caution is always smart, but I didn't come this far to turn back now." At the end of the passage, they found a circular chamber. In the center floated a massive orb, shimmering with multiple colors, each hue blending seamlessly into the next. The cube pulsed in response, hovering above the orb and projecting a holographic pattern around it. "Some kind of energy core," Jared said, "and the cubes are definitely connected to it." "Energy readings high. Composition unknown crystalline metal hybrid. Possible applications: energy storage, power amplification, and environmental control. Potential for frontier technology enhancement significant." Jared stepped closer. "Think we can use it for the ranch?" "Sky cows, floating crops, everything?" X-Men 19 tilted its head. "With proper integration and safety protocols, yes. This core could revolutionize ranch operations and frontier life." Jared grinned. "Exactly what I like to hear." They spent the rest of the day studying the orb and the holographic patterns. X-19 recorded every detail, while Jared sketched out plans for integrating the technology into their ranch systems. The deeper they went, the more Jared realized that the Crimson Plateau was more than a plateau. It was a frontier full of secrets, waiting for those brave enough to explore. As night fell, the twin moons rose, casting silver light across the canyon. The orb glowed softly, reflecting in the eyes of both adventurers. Jared and X-19 sat on a ledge overlooking the canyon, their hover bikes parked behind them. "You know, X-19," Jared said, gazing at the glowing orb, "the frontier isn't just about survival. It's about discovery, about curiosity, about learning from the mysteries out here. And we've only scratched the surface." "Affirmative," X-19 replied. "Adventure engagement sustained. Curiosity levels elevated. Preparedness for future exploration optimal. You're getting the hang of it. Out here, patience, observation, and a little daring go a long way." Suddenly a soft hum echoed from the orb, and holographic symbols shifted in a pattern neither had seen before. Jared leaned forward, studying them. "Looks like the frontier isn't done with us yet," he said. "Tomorrow, we follow the next signal. Who knows what secrets are waiting for us?" X-19 nodded, its sensors still tracking the orb's pulsing light. Anticipation level high. Adventure protocols active curves. Together they watched the twin moons rise over the plateau, shimmering over floating grasslands and jagged cliffs. Somewhere out there, beyond the crystals in the canyon, more mysteries awaited. And Jared Colt knew that with X-19 by his side, the frontier was full of endless possibilities. The next morning, the Crimson Plateau glowed under the twin suns, red dust sparkling like tiny gems. Jared Colt adjusted his wide-brimmed hat and mounted his hover bike. Beside him, X-19 sensors blinked with anticipation. Ready for the final stretch? Jared asked. I have a feeling today we're going to see what all the cubes have been leading us to. Adventure engagement at maximum. Preparedness level high, X-19 replied. Coordinates for the next point received from Energy Network. Distance, 20 kilometers northwest. Terrain, jagged cliffs, floating rock formations, and luminous crystal fields. Perfect. Let's go. They kicked their hover bikes into motion, gliding over the crimson plains and weaving between the floating sky cows. The wind carried the faint hum of the plateau, and the crystals embedded in the ground reflected the sunlight, creating a dazzling, otherworldly landscape. As they neared the final coordinates, the terrain became increasingly unusual. Rocks floated higher, forming natural arches, and the crystal fields pulsed with energy. The air itself seemed alive, vibrating softly underfoot. This is it, Jared said, slowing his bike. The last signal from the cubes. Whatever is here, it's going to be something special. X-19 scanned the area. Energy levels extremely high. Core synchronization detected. Probability, discovery of advanced technology and frontier resources, near certain. Caution advised for environmental adaptation. Jared nodded. Caution always, but we've handled trickier spots before. Let's check it out. They approached a massive circular structure embedded into the cliff face. Its metallic surface shimmered with rainbow-like reflections, and glowing glyphs decorated the entrance. A low hum echoed from within, vibrating through the ground. This has to be the origin of the cube network, Jared said, eyes wide. Everything we found before, it led to this place. X-19 extended a scanning arm. Structural integrity 92%. Energy core active. Interface detected. Recommended approach, stepwise exploration with environmental monitoring. Jared smiled. Stepwise exploration, that's my kind of language. Inside, the chamber was breathtaking. Floating platforms rotated slowly, and holographic projections filled the air with maps, symbols, and diagrams. In the center floated a massive crystalline orb, much larger than the one from the canyon, pulsing with vibrant energy. The cube network hovered around it, glowing in synchronized rhythm. Looks like a hub, X-19 said. All previous cube signals converged here. Energy distribution stable. Knowledge storage significant. Jared approached the orb, brushing his hand against its surface. A wave of light enveloped them, and the holographic displays responded, projecting star charts, agricultural systems, and energy schematics in midair. This is amazing, Jared whispered. Everything the frontier could use is here. Sky cows, floating crops, energy fields. We can revolutionize the plateau. Data integration, optimal. Suggested applications. Ranch efficiency, frontier settlement enhancement, and sustainable energy systems. Environmental compatibility, high. Looks like the plateau isn't just a home. It's a classroom and a treasure chest all in one. They spent hours studying the hub, noting ways to implement its technology on the ranch. The cubes pulsed in response, almost as if guiding them, highlighting areas of interest and connecting energy pathways. Suddenly, a gentle vibration ran through the chamber. A low, melodic hum resonated from the orb. Holographic figures appeared, representations of explorers from long ago, or perhaps the original cube creators. They were abstract but peaceful, their forms shimmering like light and energy. They're communicating, Jared said softly. Not with words, but with patterns and energy. They want us to understand the plateau, not just take from it. 19 nodded. Observing, patterns indicate guidance for responsible use of technology. Ethical frontier stewardship protocols embedded in data. Jared smiled, feeling a deep sense of respect for whoever had created this system. So it's a test, huh? Not for skill, but for understanding. To see if we're ready to handle it responsibly. They worked together, carefully following the cues of the holographic guidance. X-19 processed the data efficiently, while Jared applied intuition and experience from life on the plateau. Step by step, the energy flows adjusted, connecting the orb and cubes with the canyon station and beyond. Finally, the pulsing slowed, stabilizing into a steady glow. The hub vibrated with satisfaction, and the holographic projections arranged themselves into a clear map of the plateau, showing safe zones, resources, and energy networks. It's complete, Jared said. We've unlocked everything. X-19's eyes glowed brighter. Mission success confirmed. Knowledge integration complete. Frontier optimization achievable. Jared laughed. Looks like we're officially frontier masters. Well, maybe not masters, but students who passed the final test. As they left the hub, the crystals along the canyon reflected the rising twin suns, bathing the plateau in warm light. The energy cube network followed them, pulsing gently, as if proud of their accomplishment. "Tomorrow," Jared said, looking over the plains, "we start putting this knowledge to work. Sky cows, floating crops, energy grids. It's going to change everything out here." X-19 tilted its head. Preparedness for integration. Optimal. Excitement levels high. Adventure engagement sustained. Jared smiled, feeling a rare contentment. Out here, X-19, the frontier is more than land. It's a place to grow, to learn, and to discover. And with you by my side, there's no limit to what we can explore. They returned to the ranch, the cube safely stored in the main barn, and began planning the implementation of the advanced technology. Floating crop fields were designed, sky cow pens were optimized with energy management systems, and the ranch began to take on a new futuristic look, all while preserving the charm of the Crimson Plateau. Over the next weeks, Jared and X-19 worked tirelessly. They tested energy harvesting systems, mapped new territories, and even guided other ranchers who arrived seeking guidance from the plateau's mysterious energy network. The cubes pulsed in response to their work, providing subtle guidance and adjustments to improve efficiency. One evening, as twin moons rose above the horizon, Jared and X-19 stood on a cliff overlooking the ranch. The sky cows drifted lazily, and the floating crops shimmered with energy-infused growth. The plateau looked alive, humming with potential. "You know, X-19, Jared said, tipping his hat against the moonlight. "When I first met you, I never imagined we'd come this far. The frontier, it's bigger than any of us thought. But together, we've made it a place worth protecting and exploring." X-19's sensors glowed warmly. Affirmative. Partnership with Jared Colt, optimal. Frontier engagement, complete. Future exploration ongoing. Exactly. The frontier never stops, but for tonight, let's enjoy what we've accomplished. As the moons cast silver light across the plateau, the energy cubes pulsed softly, the orb in the canyon glowing gently in the distance. It was a quiet celebration of discovery, learning, and partnership. The Crimson Plateau had been unlocked, not just for its resources, but for its knowledge, its mysteries, and its promise of adventure. And Jared Colt knew that with X-19 by his side, the frontier would always hold new challenges, new mysteries, and endless possibilities. The plateau was alive, the cubes pulsed like distant stars, and somewhere beyond the horizon, the next adventure waited, quiet, mysterious, and inviting. For now, however, they could rest. The frontier was theirs to explore together, and the story of the Crimson Plateau had reached a satisfying, inspiring milestone.